Hello, how are you? Somebody commented about how I sing my words, and now I think I'm going to notice it more. All right. So we're in the Pleiadian lineup, and energies are tough. For me, anyway. I've been going back and forth. You know, one moment I'm like, yeah! And the next moment I'm like, so stuff's coming up. Emotions are coming up. Our feelings are coming up. Things from past lives are coming up. Tonight I did a past life journey with a group of people, and it was funny because it was a past life journey and I guided them like on this certain thing, and 5 of them basically all had the same journey. One of them fell asleep, but the other 5 all went like directly from here to source. And there was a gentleman that it was his first time, and he was like, "Oh my God, it was so cool!" Like you could just see the excitement in his eyes. He went right up into like the light of source, and there was like all these like sparkling lights around. So he was really excited about it, and I thought it was cool to see that. And then we talked afterwards, but it was like everybody kind of skipped the journeying of going into past lives, but they did receive healing for sure. They were, you know, they saw different stuff, they connected with different stuff. It was just, I think because of the energy of the Pleiadian lineup, it was so intense that when I anchored the vortex, I had brought it back down from source through the light of Alcyon and then down into the crown. So I think that gave them all like this straight away into the light of Alcyon, because they also had like particles of dust, they all saw like, you know, the stardust and the energy, but I don't know like what they actually retrieved in regards to past lives. Like some of them saw different stuff, but they were all very happy. So I know past life stuff's coming up, and I guess the way to deal with that is to kind of just go right up into source and retrieve the pieces that need to be retrieved. Now, if you do this consciously or unconsciously, it doesn't matter. If you set your intention and go into a meditation and just allow yourself to go up there and be like, the main thing I had said too is like we're observing, we're not reliving anything, we're just observing the healing that's taking place. And I called in like everybody to assist with that. So call in all the peeps, you know, Archangel Michael, call in the Pleiadians, the Lyrans, the Andromedans, like ascended masters, multidimensional beings, whoever you want to call them in to assist you in going up and retrieving what needs to be retrieved. And you can do this multiple times because we have multiple experiences, multiple timelines, multiple versions of reality. And I am going to be recording a little version of like what I did tonight with them, but it's probably going to be a little different because none of them actually went on the journey part of it. So I'm sure, and every time I channel, it's different. Like I can't channel the same exact journey twice. I wish I could though, because some of them have been really cool that I haven't recorded, and I'm like, oh, I wish I had that. Just even to go back and do it for myself, because I'm always the one that's like doing it, like speaking it. I'm aware when I like guide a meditation. I'm aware when I channel in trance as well, like when I go up and have them come through and talk through me. I'm aware of things, but it's a different awareness. It's like I'm here and they're inside of me, and they're communicating. But, oh, and it was really cool tonight too. I got a lot of confirmation. I didn't know. Apparently when I channel, like I had somebody say it before when I did the, like when I go deep and bring their consciousness in to answer questions one-on-one in a group of people, like I close my eyes. Somebody had said something about like my face changing. And then tonight there was other people talking about it that were there, and they said, one of the women was like, the first time she came, she had peeked, because they always have their eyes closed, they're nice and relaxed, and I was like walking around the room guiding them, and my face was changing. And then another person said the same thing. So I'm interested to see that, because I've never seen it. I've heard it once before, but I wasn't like, you know, I know lights and stuff can play tricks on us, so I kind of dismissed it. But now that I've had so many people say it, I'm like, oh my God, that's really cool. So I'm going to try to record it and see what happens. And I asked their opinion if I should do it like straight on or like from the side, and they said to do it from the side. So I'm going to try to do that. That's called transfigure channeling, and I didn't realize I could do it. So it's pretty cool. I was happy to find out about that. And there's all different ways of channeling. Somebody like asked me tonight afterwards, like, oh, is that you channeling? And I was like, yeah. And they thought I had a script. to read, you know, and I'm like, no. So I never have a script when I do my meditations. I know like on here, a lot of times it's, you see pictures like go by on the screen. It's not me. I don't write that. I don't pre-script it. I just have an intention that I set, and I remove myself and allow them to speak through me. Like even the words that come through are different. You know, sometimes there's words that come through that I'm like, what is that? I don't even know what that is. But they do use your level of like awareness. So I found that shifted over time too. Like as I've learned more in my life, like the amount that I channel has shifted, like the words that come through, and we build a vocabulary like through our channeling. So if you write, if you do automatic writing, if you do trance channeling, if you do whatever, like even painting, drawing, whatever, you're channeling in those moments. So the more that you do it, the better you get at it, the more of a language you build, the more of a vibration that you get used to. So like what I say, because when people ask me like what it is, like how they feel it, it's just like energy and vibration coming through me, and I'm placing words to it. And it can come through in all different ways. Like I said before, I do the light language. I just don't do it for people. So let me see what this is. All right, overall energy today, and this is collective energy, so everybody can be connected to this, masculine, feminine, twin flamers, light workers, starseeds, empaths. Overall energy. Oh, and we have Mercury retrograde again, which I have found can be good for the twin flame community, and it can be good for anybody. Okay, people get freaked out about people get freaked out about Mercury retrograde, and it's gotten like a bad rap. But you're the freaking creator of your reality. So if you go around creating a reality where the Mercury retrograde is going to affect you badly, then you're going to have that happen. Now, I know the energies are intense right now and things are amplified anyhow. So if everybody's going around thinking, oh, Mercury retrograde, and we're empaths, we're going to receive that energy, oh, Mercury retrograde, and we don't even know why. But we do also have past life stuff coming up. And this is showing, like we have the Five of Wands. So energetically, our energy is like, it's like a fight. And I do feel like it's because of everything that's going on and because of people around us and because of our own fears and our own subconscious beliefs and programming, things that we think, feel, do, whatever. There's a lot of tension, a lot of conflict. And I know for some people it's outside of us. Like there's people in our lives who have hurt us. There's people in our lives who may have caused a little conflict like energetically for you. You may be triggering people. I haven't really had any problems with anybody recently. Like, I mean, you know, not like, I get over things quickly. So when I say recently, it could have been a month. I don't even know. But I haven't really had any of this going on by anybody outside of me. I do notice that people are easily being triggered though, like even myself, like, but I recognize it, so I don't hold on to it. And I'm not like, I hate that person. I'm like, okay, that's me being triggered for no frickin' reason. Stop it. You know, I know what it's connected to. Like, yesterday, I was kind of down. The past couple of days, like during the daytime, my energy's been down. So when that's down, I get like, and my brother had come home at one point, and he was like trying to start his motorcycle and move it, and the dogs were just like barking and barking because he was like, and every time they'd stop, and they'd start, and I was like, ah! So I screamed, and he was outside with his freaking motorcycle. So he said something to my dad last night. He was like, I've never heard her scream like that. And my dad, I guess while they were talking about it, because I fell asleep last night for a little while because I was so tired. It was snowing, and the snow makes me like, it was the first snow too. The first snow is always the hardest because I like summer. So they were downstairs talking, and the freaking dog started barking because like my dad yelled at something. And so I slammed my bedroom door, but not really. It was like I just closed it from my bed. So it was right at the same time my brother was like, oh, I never heard her yell like that. So I think they were both like, oh, we got caught, or so, I don't know. So today he had messaged me to ask. I had asked him last night about Thanksgiving. Today he messaged me to ask. Then he called. He's like, are you okay? You know, and then I started crying afterwards. And because I felt like I don't have anything to do on Thanksgiving, and I've never been a part of anybody's real family, and it's the first one without my mom. So like I was like spiraling, and then I was like, all right, this is nobody's fault. And even like when my brother was doing the thing with the motorcycle, like I knew it was triggering me, and I was pissed off in the moment, but I recognized it, And like, I know I'm not going to hold on to it. I'm not going to be mad at my brother for the rest of the day because his motorcycle or whatever. It was just a series of events. You know, like I went downstairs to get something and they were all gone. And I was like, ah! And I didn't hold on to it though. But I feel this energy, you know, it's just one thing after another, and that's what happens. So if you allow that outside vibration to bring you down, and you start getting down and you're like, oh, this is pissing me off, and then you yell and you get angry, then the next thing you go to do is going to still have that vibration. So you're still going to be like, you're just going to get triggered easily by stupid ass shit. And I find that this came up tonight too, with starseeds. We get triggered in the morning. A lot of us get triggered in the morning. I've spoken with several that it's like, we can stay up all night long and be like, and I think it's because nobody else is up. So like the amount of like impact from others is down. And then in the mornings, even, I mean, morning for me can be like 2 p.m. So when we wake up, we're coming back to earth and we're integrating back in, and the energy is freaking dense. And I don't know, like when I first come back, and I say come back because that's what it feels like. When I first wake up, like I am so out of it. Like I hit switches and stuff that I'd never touch in my life. I will literally like be sitting on the toilet to go pee and forget how to use the toilet paper roll. Like stupid things that I'm like, and I make note of it too because I'm like, what is wrong with me? You know? And I'm miserable, angry, like so angry, and I get hot. Like physically hot because of the anger. And then I start like wanting to take off my clothes. Like when I first wake up, I'm cold. And then I get hot. And then I get angry. And if anybody talks to me, forget about it. My dad actually like cried before because he moved in like, I think it's been over a year now, but I never really lived with him my whole life. And I was like, just talk to mom. Like mom knows. And it's like, it's not personal. Like, I'm not mad at you. I just don't want to talk to you. Please do not talk to me. And he's a morning person. So that can be a little difficult. So if you're a starseed and you wake up feeling that way, you're not alone. And I think it's because we're coming back from journeying. And we're tired because we didn't really sleep. Not on a conscious level anyway. So it's like our soul is tired because we're constantly doing stuff. We're constantly, you know, dealing with energy. And we go out there. And then we got the 5 of Cups. So this is, you know, our emotions too. So things are coming up. You know, like I said, I got triggered by those things, by what happened with my brother, and like that, you know, my dad reaching out and being like, whoa. And then it like led me to this like, crying because, you know, it's the first year without my mom at Thanksgiving. And my mom hated the holidays. Like even when we did things, like she never really wanted to be there. She'd rather kind of just like stay in bed. And like when I was with my ex, I was always in bed the whole day. Like I didn't go upstairs and like participate in Thanksgiving with him and his family. I didn't go to my family. Like I would just stay home. So it's never really been a big deal I mean, it's always been sad. It's always been emotional because I've never felt like I belong anywhere. I never felt like I had a family that I belonged with. And it's not like anybody tried to do that to me. It's just what happened. You know, my mom and my stepmom had their stuff, and my mom and my stepdad had their stuff, and it was like all these extended peeps. And then even like when I had that guy that I was with for so long, he had his own kids from 2 different people. So it was never me being a part of anything, and that gets triggered every year around the holidays. So you may have stuff like that coming up. And I think starseeds do feel alone a lot. We do feel isolated. Even if you are with like your family, your earth family, I don't feel like we belong because we're different. You know, we chose these families to incarnate to trigger us so that we can like experience that. So we can, not so that we can feel sad, but so that we can experience what that feels like. And then we can empathize with others and we can recognize the triggers. And so whenever our energy is feeling like that, we're being triggered and angry and upset, it's gonna make us feel sad and look at the empty cups. But we still have cups. We still have good stuff. And that's what we need to remember. And we have to push ourselves through the triggers. We have to push ourselves through the sadness, through whatever's going on in that moment, because that moment is just existing in that moment. And when you continuously stay in that vibration, you continuously attract more of that. So if you're sad and angry, you're just going to continue to attract that. If you're in a fear vibration, you're going to attract the things you're afraid of. If you're like angry, you're going to attract the things you're mad at even more, and it's just going to like spiral out of control into this point where it's like, ah. So you want to shift that. You want to come out of that and start manifesting from a different place. Like for me, tonight, I knew I had a full house full of people coming, and because I was feeling this way, I was like, I don't know, I might just cancel, you know, and I was getting triggered by not knowing who was coming, because there were so many people signed up, and I was getting like nervous, and I was like, I don't know if I have enough room. And then I had other people who wanted to come, but other people who hadn't told me if they were coming or not yet. And then these other people were like, oh, well, we'll lay on the floor if that's okay. And I was like, okay. And then it all ended up working out perfectly fine. But I had to go through the process of that and be like, let it go. You know, I even went down into the studio and like moved chairs around, moved things around, because it's not a huge space. And I wanted to make sure that I could like let people lay down and have people in the zero gravity chairs. And then finally, I was like, you know what? Somebody texted me and they're like, oh, we're not coming. So it opened up those last 2 chairs right after I was done like doing all that stuff. And I was like, okay. And then I went to pick up my little table that had all of my essential stuff on it. And my sphere rolled off and broke, my selenite sphere. And I was like, I didn't let it piss me off. I didn't let it like trigger me to a victim mentality of like, oh, you're like, you know, I just went, okay. And I let it go. And I was like, and then somebody messaged me after that and was like, is it okay if I bring so-and-so? And I was like, I don't even know. I was like, sure. You know, I said, I don't even know who's coming anymore. And I wasn't in like a bad place or a good place. I was just like, let it go. Whoever's supposed to be here will be here, and wherever they're going to sit is where they're going to sit. And that's when things started shifting for me. So then I came upstairs and I got in the shower, and it was like, even better. And then I went down and I went through it. And afterwards, all of those people's experiences and like channeling that energy, like they even said that like you look different now, like from then to then. Like I didn't look as tired. I was like energized again. You know, I was like glowing basically. I was happy. So we need to do those things to shift our vibration. We want to be the Knight of Cups for ourselves. The Knight of Cups is like somebody who offers love. You know, we got to love ourselves and do the things we know that are going to assist us in rising out of this and this. We don't want to stay in those low vibrations. And if you are a starseed, if you're a light worker, an empath, meditating is great. You know, getting out with people of a like mind so you can like share your stories and be like, oh my God, me too. You know, there was like 3 other people there that as when the topic about sleeping late came up and like feeling that way, we were all like, and then we don't feel so alone, because if you grow up with people who are like, what's wrong with her? You know, there's people who aren't morning people, and then there's people who are like, I will murder you people. And, you know, there's an extreme. And it depends on who I'm around too. Like, I have manners. I just know that like, if it's somebody who loves me, like, they should just know, you know, like, don't talk to me. Like, my ex knew. I mean, he would mess with me sometimes, but he learned real quick, like, not to. You know, he was like, I'd rather her be in an okay mood today, so I'm just going to go away. Even though he was a jerk, he knew enough to, like, leave me alone in the morning, because it could spiral really bad. And I'm just, like, and I'll hold on to it for the day. Like, that morning can shape the day. So I really, like, even if I wake up and, like, somebody else is here when I wake up, I'm like, I want to wake up alone. Leave me alone type of thing. And stay away for a while. and like, even like if I get a message or something, like I don't answer it. I can't. I just can't. I'm sorry. But we have to recognize those things about ourselves and work on it too. I recognize that I'm not a morning person, so I make sure that I give myself enough time, and I make sure that I don't make too many commitments that, you know, require me getting up at a certain time. Like even the process of setting an alarm can be like, So you want to make sure you take care of your energy. You want to make sure you're shifting out of things. If you feel those ways, it's okay to feel those ways. There's nothing wrong with you. You know, not everybody needs to wake up and be like, We can wake up and process and come back, because we're doing a lot in the astral. So, you know, make sure that you're giving yourself a break for things too, and loving yourself no matter who you are, how you are. You know, I've been here for 34 years. I don't think I'm going to start changing now. And we have the 7 of Wands too, which is about working hard on ourselves. And releasing whatever doesn't feel right. So we're offering our love and we're working on ourselves and we're making those things that we know are going to shift our vibration. You know, it's okay to feel bad sometimes. It's okay to have certain tendencies about you, but you don't want to stay there. You know, don't start canceling things and like falling into like a recluse type of energy where you just don't come out, because then you're going to like put that ripple effect out into every area of your life. You want to be able to know that things are going to go upward for you. You have to start creating that through loving yourself and working hard with your energy. You know, going back and doing the past life journeys, going back and connecting with your consciousness and loving yourself no matter what. And then we have temperance, which is about balance. So it's about finding a balance. You know, we don't have to pretend to be perfect. We don't, and there's nothing wrong with having a bad moment. We just want to have balance between them, is basically what it's saying. So let's see what's going on with our emotionally, relationships, emotions and relationships. Six of Cups is on the bottom. And I've seen this card quite a few recently. I've done a couple of private readings. Right, I did one before I came on, so I'm waiting for that one to save and upload. And I did a couple over the past couple of days, so I've seen this one come through a lot. So in regards to our relationships, there are people showing up with support and love for us. You know, there's like an offer of love coming in. This can go forth in relationships with your family. You know, like I think my dad today like could feel when I was like, what's going on for Thanksgiving? And he was like, oh, I'm going here. And I was like, okay, well, can you at least leave the Jeep so I don't get stuck at home all day? I think that was like, oh, I should call, you know, and that was like an offer of love from my dad in his way. And then, you know, like my sister had said something like, oh, how come that? You know, like there's love coming from our family, offers of love. And like my friend came today and was like, you know what? Let's skip this and let's just be together and talk, because that's what I needed. So that was an offer of love. And then the community showing up tonight, all these new people and, you know, a few people that I've known for a while showed up, and they offered their support and their love and their recognition in helping me to find that balance. Because I facilitate meditation for all of them, but it's nice for them to share their experiences with me, because that's like how I receive the love back too, is to hear that they had a good time. Like that makes me happy when I know that they enjoyed it. Like I genuinely feel good knowing that something was like received out of it. So this offer of love is coming in, and if you're like romantically too, I do feel like that energy's coming in, and it comes in as a result of this, as we love ourselves and we find balance, and we don't persecute ourselves for having emotions, we don't persecute ourselves for having a bad moment. You know, that opens up the door for love to come in. We always hear that over and over. When you love yourself, other people can love you. If you don't love yourself, then other people can't. And loving yourself doesn't mean like you don't get sad and cry, or, you know, like loving yourself is knowing that like, okay, I get upset and I cry sometimes, but I know that I can pull myself out of it and, you know, offer myself that love that I need in that moment. And then we have the Empress. So divine feminine energy is rising into the Empress energy. Empress is embodying all of the queens. So she's got it together mentally, energetically, with her pentacles, with her finances, with her self-worth, her love. So she's embodying all of the queens. So she's fertile, she's creative, she's giving birth to new, and she's about commitment, she's about unconditional love, she's very loving. Like she has the energy of Venus and Taurus, you know, that's that very like grounded, mothering, loving, nurturing person. So divine feminine is in that energy. So she is, you know, offering love to herself, and that's opening up the door for love to come in other ways. And feminine energy is inside of masculines as well. So masculines may be even attracted to it. They may be like wanting to nurture themselves more instead of like, you know, working too hard all the time. Maybe like taking the time off to even like soak in a tub, or just doing something that like nurtures them, you know, giving themselves permission to be nurtured and loved and, you know, like supported in a way that's like a little bit softer. Let's see how Divine Masculine is doing, since that kind of came through for feminine. How's the masculine, since the feminine is in her Empress energy? Oh, that's way too many. Way too many. Who's that? Oh, the King of Wands. Okay. Queen of Wands. All right, so obviously King of Wands wanted to come through because the Queen of Wands came through. So masculines have the King and Queen type of energy, which is balanced. It's that balance place, okay? So they may be feeling emotional, but they're allowing themselves to. Like they're honoring their emotions. They're not cutting themselves off from feeling. And if they do love somebody, you know, they're making that love known. Whether it be family, friends, or, you know, counterpart. The sunflower is connected to twin flames, so masculines could be rising into that King of Wands, Queen of Wands energy, where they're ready, you know, energetically, like they're opened up energetically. They may have some issues within other areas, but energetically, they're feeling the love, you know, they're wanting connection. And I think because the Empress energy is here, like they're energetically being pulled towards this. So when the Divine Feminine is embodying this, it's like a magnet. And it's very like they're opening up to that nurturing that she's providing, you know. So it's like they have that open door to feel nurtured and loved and supported, so that opens up the door for the feminine to come in and nurture them. So they're actually both making this offer of love. And it doesn't have to be within the physical. It could be energetically, since it's the wands coming in. I know for myself, I've been sending a lot of energy to the masculine because it feels like it's needed right now, you know. And it's internal and external. We send it, when we send it inwards, we send it outwards. So when you know your masculine energy is in need, you send energy to it of that loving, nurturing, creative, fertile vibration. And you also like want to find balance between things too. You know, I've been taking some time to, you know, relax and connect and not do too much. So I've like, you know, and I say that, but I'm like constantly doing stuff. So tomorrow I made sure I scheduled something in for my work. And then tomorrow night I go live on the Divine Essentials page on Facebook at 9 p.m. for free readings. But yeah, I try to find a balance. You know, like I'm going to sleep late and relax, but then I'm going to try to do some work on some other things that I put off from a couple of days ago. And then tomorrow night I'll be going live. So I try to find a balance between two. Like I feel guilty if I don't get things done, like one thing a day. And I know that's not right, but to me, it just doesn't feel right. All right, there's a lot of cards there, and I didn't even ask what they were connected to. All right, so let's see how the Divine Feminine is feeling towards her masculine. The Emperor. So I feel a lot of feminines are, you know, the Emperor is logical. He's in his mind. He's very strong. He's like the counterpart to the Empress. Okay? So she, in regards to her feelings, is feeling that from the masculine. She's like bringing in that vibration of love, embodying all of the kings, you know, seeing that he's got his energy together, his thoughts together, his finances together, his worth on self together, his love for self together, his love towards other together, his energy is becoming more balanced. It's not so much in the masculine. It's opening up to the nurturing, and he's very logical and good with his life. So it seems like they're mirroring each other in her vision. You know how she's feeling towards him. Let's see, how are they feeling about themselves? Aw, poor little guys. So we have the Nine of Wands. So it seems some of the masculines are feeling a little beat up. You see he's got like the bandages and stuff. So energetically the masculine's probably feeling beat up, which is, you know, indicating like all of this other energy. We have all of this tension and strife going on out there. You know, that can be a little hard on everybody. So the masculine energy is feeling a little beat up. They may not be recognizing this Emperor energy. And we have death. So they may be wanting to get into here. They may not be feeling it, but they may be wanting to get there. You know, and I think this is just because, like, feminines love unconditionally. Like, they don't ever, I think the Empress, the Divine Feminine, also recognizes that, like, if she wants to attract in the right person, she has to envision this person. So maybe some of you are just, like, you know, feeling this way towards your, like, a masculine energy, so that masculine can show up in your reality. You know, you don't want to attract in somebody who's not on that vibration. You want to attract the right person in. I do feel like this is something going back and forth for everybody. So it's not like just masculines are feeling beat up energetically. I think everybody is. And then with the death card for masculine, in the regards to how they feel for themselves, I think it's a transformation. They want to transform. They're wanting to be the emperor. They want to be together. You know, they want to have it all together. They want to be, like, you know, happy in their love. They want to be happy in their energy. They want to be happy with their mind. They want to be happy with their career. They want to be happy in all areas. And that's what the emperor is. He's got his shit together. So I think whatever is that maybe keeping them feeling a little beat up or bruised or not, like, emotionally fulfilled, is transforming and dying right now so that it can be reborn. Let's see how feminine is feeling towards herself. We have the Six of Pentacles. So the Divine Feminine is in this place of balance towards herself. I think we've all reached there where we have this acceptance with ourselves, and we are, you know, we're not giving and taking too much. You know, we're giving and we give just as much as we receive, and we recognize that. And we recognize that we're the creators of our reality. So if we want to have self-worth, we have to love ourselves. If we want to have, you know, financial stuff, we have to be in the vibration of receiving it, and we have to be in the vibration of giving as well. We can't just expect the universe to give us something without doing it. You have to get up and do something with yourself. You can't just be like, oh, la, la, la. Oh, I trust the universe is going to do this. You have to actually make physical actions. And I think, you know, obviously if she's in the Empress energy, she's there. So she gets the flow. She gets it. She's released this need for anybody outside of her. She's released this need for anybody to come be like her saving grace. Like, she recognizes that everything is a give and take, and that she's the creator of that. And so, you know, she may be getting triggered. She may be feeling emotional and upset, but she's still, you know, keeping that balance. She's not allowing herself to go there too long, and she's keeping her commitments. She's, you know, committing to herself and keeping those commitments to herself. Like tonight with this reading, I was like, but it's a height of the lineup. I'm like, you got to go on, you know, you got to do a reading. So just do it, you know, and this keeps me in the flow. This keeps me from going here. And it keeps me in that Empress energy, in that place of balance. And this helps me to give, you know, like I'm not receiving anything to give this. I already received enough today, so I want to give back. And that's where we need to be. We need to give to receive. And we also have to give things away. We have to, like, let things go so that other things can come in. If you're feeling like, you know, your cups are not filled and your energy's all crazy, well, let go of the stuff that's making that happen. You know, if it's stupid stuff that's triggering you, you recognize that. But if it's big stuff, like, you know, your heart's broken and it's just going to continuously be broken, then you got to let it go and shift it so that you can bring in the unconditional love for self and allow that love to show up from other areas. All right. So these are like overall ending. We have the Four of Wands and the Nine of Pentacles, okay? So I feel like inevitably this is where things are headed. We're headed to this commitment. This is like the marriage card. This is like a union energy. So inevitably everybody's heading into this union energy, and everybody's been working hard on that. And it's an inner union, okay? It's a union of the masculine and feminine within. It's a union of recognizing that balance. And I think everybody's getting there. Everybody's working on their worth. Everybody's working on the commitments to themselves. And through that, they're opening up the doorway to commitments in other areas, and they're opening up to expansion and abundance in other areas, embodying the energy of the Empress and Emperor, and really, you know, taking charge of life, taking charge of their future, taking charge of being the creator of the reality. So that's really good energy, you know. I feel like the lineup is assisting with this too. It's triggering the right stuff so that we can dive a little bit deeper, forgive ourselves when we're not feeling wonderful, rise up into the energies that we've been working towards, and make that commitment to ourselves to continuously work hard. And, you know, if you are in a journey with a twin flame, many of you are going into union. Many of you are in union already, you know, in the physical. And for those energetically, I feel like a lot of you are there energetically, like you've made commitments to each other. Some of you feminines have walked away from the person you thought was and have made a commitment to, you know, receive it in any way that it shows up, and be in that Empress energy, allowing for the Emperor to show up in your life and not, you know, place too much expectations on it. It's rather placing expectation on self and being in the right vibration, and then allowing the universe to ripple to you the correct experiences, timelines, synchronicities that are going to guide you to where you need to be. And that's the same message for masculines too. You know, some of the masculines may have walked away from a particular person and have decided they're going to open up and commit to the right person, vibration, and place that the universe puts them in alignment with, because they're in alignment. Okay? Knight of Swords is on the bottom. So no more of this in and out type of energy. No more of this like, here I am, bye-bye. Like, this is a straightforward commitment to yourself and to others. We're not going to be wishy-washy anymore. We're going to make that commitment to ourselves. We're going to work hard on it, and we're going to embody the Empress Emperor energy. So I hope that these messages resonated, made sense. And if you would like a private reading, everything's down in the description below. I do all different types of readings, so check me out tomorrow night, 9 p.m. on the Divine Essentials page. I am doing free live readings in Munay. Namaste.